Coming up next hour, Michael goes to Washington. Celebrities of all types wanted to meet Michael in 1984. He traveled to Washington to meet a prominent ex-actor.
Well, isn't this a thriller? I know that sounds a little off the wall, but you know what I mean. At this stage of his career, when it would seem he's achieved everything a musical performer could hope for, Michael Jackson is taking time to help lead the fight against alcohol and drug abuse.
Just get in and talk about it.
I've got to go home.
Oh, come on, Carrie. We're going to a new place.
With Beat It as the background, Michael helped deliver a message as explosive as his video.
You okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You sure?
Relax. What's a few beers?
If you don't stop your friend from drinking and driving, you're as good as dead.
I'm very, very honored. Thank you very much, Mr. President and Mrs. Reagan.
But sharing a platform with Ronald Reagan during an election year stirred up even more controversy.
I think a lot of people were upset with him appearing with Ronald Reagan. Now, he says he's an American, and I understand that. I can understand him saying that. And being honored at the White House is a very high tribute in this country. But in light of some of the things that Ronald Reagan had done in terms of his bills and his cuts affecting black America and poor Americans in general, I don't think he should have done that.
When Michael wasn't making headlines, he was making friends. We'll meet some famous ones next. Michael Jackson's circle of friends encompasses superstars from every facet of show business. One of his closest pals and collaborators is Paul McCartney.
Michael originally fancied writing some stuff with me, and I thought it was a good idea. So he came over here to England, and we just hung out for a little while and got to know each other a bit, and ended up writing 2 songs. I suppose I was a bit of a ham as a kid, you know. It never leaves you. And Michael's the same. He's a regular ham. He's a ham.
And Michael likes Paul a lot, and that's it. When the affinity's there, I think everything else is easy. And so there was no friction or competitiveness or anything in it apparent. And so it just worked. It just flowed.
Well, he's great, Michael. I mean, he's a great fella. I mean, I don't know if you've met him and stuff. He's always say, Mike, look, plugging you, see? You need it. But he's a nice fella, you know. He's a good fella to be around, and he's talented. Yeah. And so, what more do you want?
Next up, Kansas City and the kickoff to the Victory Tour. 1984 was the year the big tour returned to rock. Setting the pace were record-breaking tours by Prince, the Jacksons, and Bruce Springsteen.
The only thing that really feels like I'm doing what I should be doing is usually like when I play with a band.
The Van Halen World Extravaganza Circus Foreign Legion Traveling Gypsy Show. Smile, you're on candid camera!
I'm going on. See you later.
If they say, why?
Of 84, Part 1. Let's look at one of the biggest and most controversial events in rock and roll history, the Jacksons' Victory Tour.
I tell you what, just for a change, give me something a little different.
After the extraordinary success of Thriller, the world awaited a Michael Jackson tour. But when the announcement came at New York's Tavern on the Green, it was about a Jackson Brothers reunion tour.
Let the word go forth to friend and foe alike that a great musical experience is about to take place in your hometown.
Boxing promoter Don King had been hired to bankroll and oversee the pre-production segment of the tour, while the Jacksons negotiated for a national tour promoter. Frank Russo of Rhode Island thought he had the job.
After making my presentation, I was notified on the spot that I was a successful applicant.
But in the end, New England Patriots owner Chuck Sullivan presided over the largest rock tour ever to cross America.
The fact that this tour did happen when everybody said it wouldn't happen, and that it did happen because Chuck Sullivan had the courage to put up the money.
The entire tour was sponsored by Pepsi-Cola, who also hired Michael to write and design 2 TV commercials. This marketing coup turned to bad publicity. An accident on the last day of shooting set Michael's hair on fire. He was rushed to the same Bronfman Burn Center he had visited for charity only weeks before.
History will show that he's on his way to recovery, and he's made some appearances, and he's very brave.
The Jacksons then incurred the wrath of ticket buyers when coupons appeared in newspapers requiring fans to purchase 4 tickets by mail at a total of $120. Michael dealt with this problem himself.
I've asked our promoter to end the mail order ticket system as soon as possible so that no one will pay money unless they get a ticket.
But despite all the delays, problems, bad press, and rumors to the contrary, on July 6, 1984, the Jacksons, including once estranged brother Jermaine, hit the stage in Kansas City, Missouri.
If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does he do it his way?
The fans loved the show.
We think he's great.
We slept in line for a week to get these seats.
But the critics were less sure.
I found the concert a bit disappointing, actually. I found it rather flat.
But I think for the show to maximize its appeal, he's going to have to open up and give it a little more looseness.
As a whole, I thought the production was really overblown. The props were just much too grandiose and ornate for the size of this production.
I don't think that they helped themselves as recording artists and as viable entities, commercial entities, because of the tour. And because of the controversy around it, I think that they actually kind of did themselves a little bit of harm. And I think that Michael got tarnished a bit.
But the tour rolled on and on. The show itself was enormous.
When you have 120 road people, it looks confusing. So it's really, it hasn't been as confusing as people might lead you to think it has been.